Okay, I think I should probably explain myself, because I imagine some people are probably going to say something like, "But Evan, didn't you say you were taking a break?" Well, yeah, I did say that, but I want to get this off of my chest, because I feel like if I don't say this now, I'm going to forget about it soon. The Lottery is a short dystopian story written by Shirley Jackson that was released in 1948, and it follows the story of a small town following an annual tradition of a lottery system with somebody being stoned at the end. That's literally the entire story. I don't know how people are able to stretch this out into 20-minute short films, but they did, and that's what I'm talking about today. Before we even start talking about the film itself, I think it's quite obvious, by looking at the title and the thumbnail, that this is a pretty old short film, being made basically around the 1970s, being 1969. Now, I don't fully know the history behind this. My best guess is that this is either some sort of weird, TV special, or this is a film festival thing. I'm not fully certain. The film starts by flashing some information on the screen, and playing some absolutely fire audio in the background. The short film begins with a couple of kids collecting stones, which is what happens in the story, so we're off to a decent start here. I would like to quickly point out this scene though, where it seems like this kid is trying to open up his fly so that he can put one of the stones near his crotch. This is when the issues with the short film start to rear their ugly head. Simply put, after the first 3 minutes, this film becomes so unbelievably boring. I'm talking, I nearly fell asleep during this film, and it is less than 20 minutes long. That's not a good thing if you couldn't tell. If it wasn't for some really funny acting moments and some other parts that are just absolutely hilarious that I thought of, I probably would have fallen asleep during this. In fact, I'm just going to include some of the funniest parts of this thing to me.
It ain't the way it used to be. People ain't the way they used to be. First thing you know, everybody wanted to be going back and living in caves. Nobody work anymore. Live that way for a while.
I'd like to talk about some of these extras, because some of them look so funny in the background. For example, take a look at this guy. He looks like he's straining his neck to be in the shot. There's also this guy in the green plaid, who's for some reason standing in the background like he's a serial killer. You gotta admit, some of these castings are really funny. There's also this guy who stands next to Bill during the entire lottery thing itself, and for some reason he kinda looks like a mix of any character that Arnold Schwarzenegger has ever played, and that cowboy guy from The Simpsons who is voiced by Al Brooks. We all know what this is building up to, though. Tessie is selected for the lottery, and everyone in the town gets ready to start stoning her. And I will say, as much as I've joked about the rest of this short film, this part was pretty well done. It actually made me a little bit uncomfortable when I first watched it. And that's pretty impressive for somebody who literally collects Halloween props for a living. You get a thumbs up, whoever made this. I'm looking back at this while I'm editing it, and I realized that really, the shot is not as good as I said it was. It's pretty obvious that most of the stuff that they're throwing isn't even the stones, because they pick up these huge rocks in the beginning, and yet they're throwing them paper balls. And also, why is she smiling during this? She's literally getting killed. Why is she laughing during this? So yeah, overall, after watching this full thing, I'd give it, maybe a solid 6 out of 10 arbitrary rating systems. It was okay. I'm interested in knowing if y'all enjoyed this video. If y'all want me to review some other short films or even some longer films, I'd love to do that. For me, I personally want to review a certain 80s movie that was released, I believe, in Canada. But hey, y'all are going to let me know if y'all want to see that. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, and dang, that video sucks.